Hello, this is Targor. Welcome to my vision of World of Warcraft Classic Plus. Here's the scripts. This video is a Twitch stream that was not edited, so it's going to look like a Twitch stream. The design direction of my vision of Classic Plus is substantially different from that of Retail WoW Circus Shadowlands and the private servers Vanilla Plus and Turtle WoW. This is partially because it's aims to fix Vanilla WoW's main problems first and flesh out and polish it second and add new content third. This is part of a playlist of videos. Check out this video's description for a link to the playlist. The document is displayed by Vision of Classic Plus, and the document's version number is 1.5.15. All versions of the document are based upon patch 1.12.2 of World of Warcraft, that is, the patch right before the Burning Crusade pre-patch. If you just want to know about the general design direction of my Vision of Classic Plus before you otherwise look into this, to watch the introductory video in this playlist, or read the document yourself and look at the list of major features. The link to the document is in my channel's about page. That, and I do not have a team of people, however, working with me to make an actual private server edits. This is all pure design as far, and it ain't done yet. Note that most of the game's items are pending re-itemization, though I have laid out the groundwork for it. Also note that a bunch of changes to Unequippable items are actually in the previous section, proc/on-use changes, because they also qualify as changes to on-use effects. So yeah, if you want to know about all of them, also check out the previous video, proc/on-use changes. Now, moving on. The actual changes to the rest of the unequippable items in this game. Magic Dust will have, how did I write has, a 25% chance to hit you and the target, and a 25% chance to just hit you, the guy that uses it, and it will not work on enemies that are above level 60. This stuff is so absurdly overpowered that you do not need to explain why it's getting nerfed. Magic Candle will, instead of hurling a fireball at something, shield you against up to 139 fire damage for 5 minutes on a 5-minute cooldown. All limited use per character items, such as Light of Eloon, Bag of Marbles, and a Holy Might Stone, and Really Sticky Glue, will be unusable in all instances, including Battlegrounds, in order to cut down on, in order to keep tryhards on a leash. Jungle Remedy will only work on poisons and diseases of up to level 45, in order to make them not outclass powerful anti-venom. The Scepter of Celebras will be given a 12-hour cooldown. This is to make it be less profitable to farm Mardon at level 60. Not that you're going to be able to. After these anti-spell cleave and anti-melee cleave and anti-AoE farming changes, wherein everything has a target cap of 6 targets that players have access to, unless it's neither crowd controlling nor damaging stuff. And elite NPCs generally get slowed less by slows. That HP percentage slow is reduced. Oh, here's the fly buzzing around. And NPCs are all capable of running up 180-degree slopes, so don't try any terrain exploits against them. Next up, Sheen of Zanza will no longer work on enemies level 61 or higher. Oh, by the way, I wrote this change a pretty long time ago before I did this anti-melee cleave, so spell cleave change stuff. Also, Raptor was severely nerfed, by the way, as I mentioned in the previous video. Yes, Sheen of Zanza will no longer work on enemies level 61 or higher, so you do not get to reflect. So, for example, you do not get to reflect Cthulhu's Dark Glare to deal 50,000 shadow damage to him, though I'm not sure why you would want to do that. That's a better example is that you do not get to reflect Cthulhu's 57 fucking million damage chain I-beam attack against him to instantly kill him. Actually, I think it would need to be bigger to instantly kill, but you know what I mean. Crystal Yield and Crystal Restore will be removed from the game and replaced with new items. More on that elsewhere. All holiday beverage buffs, such as Fiery Festival Brew, will not stack up other beverage buffs, such as Rumsey Rum Black Label, if where it was not the case before. Actually, this is redundant. I forgot to get rid of it after I otherwise revamped the way to buy. Okay. Snowballs will no longer knock players, or anything else, down, and as such, it will not stop affected players from falling in any way, shape, or form. You can no longer use it as a pseudo-slow fall exploit. anti-fall damage exploit. Conjured items and items of limited duration cannot be wrapped up in wrapping paper anymore if they could be before, for pretty obvious reasons. Blood of Instance will be renamed. To Blood of Tortured Innocence in order to thematically differentiate from the vials of innocent blood dropped by Syndicate Shadow Mage's free quest, Blood of Innocence. Greek Stout Beatdown will grant 20 Spirit and -5 int for its duration. Blessed Sunfruit Juice will grant plus 15 Spirit only for its buff's duration. Elsewhere in this document, I forget exactly where, it goes over a whole lot of changes made to how buffs stack of each other, and that justifies exactly how I'm changing these items. But anyway, that'll be for a different video. I forget exactly where in the document it is. Enriched Mana Biscuits will only grant 2,418 hit points and 2,934 mana over 30 seconds, but they'll be considerably cheaper than before and require level 45 to eat. Bottled Ultra Spring Water will only recover 2,934 mana over 30 seconds, but it'll also increase your spirit by 15 for 10 minutes and require level 45 to drink. Essence Mangoes will restore 3,180 hit points and 4,200 mana over 30 seconds instead of 2,550 hit points and 4,410 mana over 30 seconds. In order to make it be standard level 55 food/water, the only such food/water in the entire game, there's no longer level 55 food, nor level 55 water, just Essence Mangoes. These changes to high level food and water not only serve to make Essence Mangoes be worth something, but they also serve to make mages make slightly less. They also serve to cause mages make slightly less money by selling conjured food and water by standing around in town and doing nothing, basically. By the way, mage food/water was otherwise nerfed off the top of my head by 15%. Mages. What? Food, water. Yes, 15%, that's right. The quest Essence Mangoes will tentatively reward you with 20 Essence Mangoes instead of 10 of them, so that, again, they're more valuable. So that more people get them. Lesser Arcana of Veracity will grant an extra +2 to its stat for a total of +10 Strength, Agility, Stam, and or Spirit in order to make the ionization budget of Legions be more consistent than before. Arcana of Focus will grant an extra +2 spell damage on ceiling for a total of +10 for the same reason. Lesser Arcana of Constitution will grant 10 Arcana Resistance instead of 100 hit points in order to avoid a conflict with Lesser Arcana of Veracity Stamina, and to add a fifth resistance option for head enchants. Note that Librams only affects heads now, as mentioned elsewhere in this document. Lesser Arcana of Resilience will grant half as much fire resistance as before to make the itemization budget for head enchants be more consistent. Lesser Arcana of Rumination will grant 6 MP5 instead of 150 mana in order to avoid a conflict with Lesser Arcana of Veracity Int. A minor conflict with Lesser Arcana of Veracity Int. Lesser Arcana of Tenacity will grant 25 less armor than before for a total of 100 to make the itemization budget of Librams more consistent than before. Libram Rapidity will grant 1% melee/range haste and 3 attack power instead of just 1 melee haste for the same reason. Arcana of Protection will be renamed to Arcana of Retaliation and grant 4 Arcane Thorns damage instead of 1% dodge chance. Because I do not want Avoidance stacking to get out of hand like it did in Vanilla WoW. If you don't know how to... Well, because warriors should not be allowed, for example, to have 90% unbuffed Avoidance in Best in Slot Forever gear, which they could in Vanilla. That's just an example. By the way, that includes block chance of 299 and 300 block value, which is a fuck ton. I went over how that's overpowered in the previous video. I just don't feel like it now. All Librams, which do not mean Paladin Relics, will no longer work on items of item level equals 54 or lower. by leaving some the specific kinds of head enchants. The fiery blaze enchants will no longer work on items on level 44 or lower. Eternal Quintessence will require exalted hydroaction Waterlords rather than revered, giving you a reward for hitting exalted of them in the first place. Frozen Runes will absorb 3,000 fire damage and have its cooldown and duration reduced to 2 minutes. Hearthstones may no longer be used while in combat. All Dire Maul class books, as well as Warriors Compendium of Dragon Slaying, will be bind on pickup, making them be much, much, much rarer than they were before. That is, actually be rare instead of just being found in the auction house all the time, like normal dungeon loot. And it'll also make Warriors Compendium of Dragon Slaying be that much more epic than before. Furthermore, Warriors Compendium of Dragon Slaying will be far rarer than before anyway, due to this being a quest-starting item that leads to getting a legendary sword, more on that in a different video that I already did. If I recall correctly, that was further up in the section on items. Anyway, like, it was an earlier video that did it, okay? Ectoplasmic Distiller will no longer generate that because it is extremely overpowered. You would know if you actually played Vanilla Classic. Strathhold Holy Water will make demons and undead in its radius panic for 6 seconds on a 4-minute cooldown instead of hurting them. Dark and Demonic Rune will grant you 1,538 to 2,462 mana at the cost of 923 to 1,477 hit points, which cannot critically strike. Dark Rune and Demonic Rune will, when used, inflict you a red debuff called Tainted Soul that persists through death and has the mana gain from Life Tap for 1 hour. This will prevent Warlocks from rolling on Dark and Demonic Runes over classes that cannot cast Life Tap. Just shut the hell up and cast Life Tap. Let everyone else get those Dark and Demonic Runes that they actually fucking need. You get barely anything out of those. They get way the fuck more out of those than you do. Just shut up and actually be... Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Whipper Tubers will restore 1,091 to 1,039 hit points on a 2-minute cooldown, which cannot crit. Knight's Dragon Breath will restore 545 to 655 health and 909 to 1,091 mana on a 2-minute cooldown, which cannot crit. In case you were wondering, yes, I have had bad experiences with Warlocks, Roll in Need on Dark Runes and Scholomance in Vanilla Classic. Lily Roots will restore 360 to 431 hit points and 600 to 719 mana on a 2-minute cooldown, which cannot crit. Razor Lash Roots will restore 320 hit points and 535 mana over 10 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown. As a result of pearls being directly socketable into items, pearls may... No, wait, now I remember. It wasn't in Vanilla Classic. It was on a private server. But anyway, close enough. As a result of pearls being directly socketable into items... A Blitz-like private server, mind you. As a result of pearls being directly socketable into items born in the eventual jewel crafting video, pearls may no longer be stacked into a single inventory space, unfortunately. As part of making all non-magical explosives deal physical and fire damage both, explosive rockets will be changed to deal 7 physical and 5 fire damage, which cannot crit on a 5-minute cooldown. As part of making all non-magical explosives deal physical fire damage, N73 fire grenades will be changed to deal 130 physical and 96 fire damage, which cannot crit on a 5-minute cooldown, and 30-second quotation mark stun, quotation mark, will be replaced with a 1 to 2 second proper stun, incapacitation, to be consistent with engineering grenades. Incapacitation, proper, not a quotation mark, stun, quotation mark, by which I mean incapacitation to multiple charges, as in you can get hit multiple times, but only up to X times before the incapacitation wears off early from getting hit. That's how it worked before. Now since it's an incapacitation proper, you get hit once, it wears off early. Goblin fetching poles will be removed from the game, and the quest that gives them to you will give you Easy Throw Dynamite 2 instead, because... Nah. Yeah, I'm just going to do that because I'm lazy. Spread it, because I'm too lazy to just... Hold on. I think I got the fly. Oh, no, it got away. Fuck. Oh well, maybe I'll get it next time. Did not squish that fly. Spread of France will be bind up pickup and heal for 31 to 35, which cannot crit, just in case tryhards would try to use it for tryharding. Alright, in Untamed Manners at least. Iron Arachnidia, Whale of Banshee, and Clutch of Foresight will be removed from the game in order to save speedrunners from themselves. In the eventual really long run. when the speed runs get eventually really tight. If this game ever actually comes to exist anyway. Elemental Flux will no longer be sold by any vendor. They must instead be transmuted by Elemental Alchemists, see section number 9.1.4, new/remove alchemy products for more information. It is a cheap it makes quite a bit of elemental flux, by the way, and doesn't cost that much to transmute, if I recall correctly. Elementium ore, but not bars, are going to be buying on pickup. Because the ore can be turned in for Chandrila reputation. As mentioned elsewhere in the design document, if I recall correctly. Scrolls of protection shall grant lower amounts of armor as such in order to be according to the itemization formulae. In order to conform to the itemization formulae. Scroll protection 1, 30 armor. 2, 70 armor. 3, 110 armor. 4, 150 armor. All tier tokens shall be changed as such. Zul'Gurub, quote, set armor, but not amulets and trinkets, will drop pseudo-tier. Zul'Gurub pseudo-tier armor, but not amulets and trinkets, will drop as equipable items from the raid, instead of being quest rewards. For example, instead of seeing Primal Hikari Sancheon drop, you'll see either Xandlar Competitive Traps, Xandlar Demoniac Traps, or Xandlar Hard Spec Traps drop. Tokens from these Ruins of Anchorage will be replaced with weapons and armor that can be made of them, which will drop directly from the raid without having to first be crafted by a quest giver. Similarly, for the tokens from the Temple of Anchorage. Tokens from Naxxramas will be replaced with the armor that can be made of them, which will drop directly from the raid without having to first be crafted by a quest giver. Admittedly, these changes are not going to be particularly popular, but I forgot why I'm doing this. I might change my mind about it in the future, or no, now I remember. It feels too much like. No, actually, I forgot again. Never mind. I might change it. I might actually just delete these changes later, but not right now. As such, none of these items will require items such as Crystal Scarabs, idols with life, Forthorn Scraps, Arcanite Bars, or Moon Craft, and will no longer require reputation of raid faction to obtain. Any items whose sole purpose is works to be reused for these items, namely such items such as Crystal Scarabs, idols with life, or Forthorn Scraps, will be removed from the game. All of these scarabs will also used to get different from the North Star Ring, which will require other items in this place, warned as to section number 4.0.6 quest changes. 4 changes to items that grant world buffs, see section number 4.0.10, world buff changes. And that does it for changes made to unequippable items. And the rest of the changes to proc/on use effects. Thanks for watching, and yeah. Thanks for watching.